Good afternoon, guys. And thank you guys for standing by to tune in to find out what really happened inside of Heritage High School on the day when the young man chose to go to school with a loaded pistol and shoot multiple students. I am here with his father right now, sitting outside of the hospital while he is now in surgery once again. The family needed to share their story because they feel as though no one cares. They feel as though no one did absolutely nothing to even help their son during his time of need. He was in one hospital and now he's here in another hospital due to his injuries and now is in surgery. Things that the national local news station is telling y'all is not the absolute truth. A lot of things has been left out. A lot of things has been not spoken about. They want you guys to know the truth, nothing but the truth, so help them God. How the school system failed them as a school system. How, when a child was shot, no one from the school called them and informed them that their child was shot at school. Okay? No one until earlier today contacted them to see if their child was okay or not, if he's still living, what type of injuries, and has not updated the news on what really went on inside of Heritage High School in Newport News, Virginia. I am the most famous news reporter here in Hampton Roads, where all lives do matter to me. If you have a story and you feel like the local news won't pick it up or won't share your story, you can always call me. A news station did come out and interview them with their exclusive story, but the story was so chopped up, the family feel like they was not heard. They did not share what they was going through. The family reached out to RHODAYOUNGLIVE Live because I'm here to share their story, uncut, unedited, and live, just the way they wanted to present their story so their story can be heard properly. At this moment, the father is so emotional right now because allegedly, and I'm using the word allegedly because I was trying to set up and I didn't want him to speak until we got set up so his mind can stay focused on what he needed to stay focused on. The news has told us the young man was shot twice in it, behind the ear or in the face and in the leg, but that's not true. Right now, the child is in surgery because allegedly the child had two gunshot wounds also to his head. And that is the truth here. We're reporting live with this story that happened in Newport News, Virginia. Was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago, one day ago, when a young student, 15 years of age, entered Heritage High School and Huntington Middle School, which is combined a high school and a middle school together, and decided on that day to shoot multiple people due to a previous altercation at that school earlier. I'm gonna bring you the father, but he's so distraught right now. He don't want to be seen, so we're gonna have to use our listening ears. Good afternoon, and how are you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing just fine. The worst thing that I can say to any parent that's out there that's listening right now, I was sitting on my tractor Monday, actually like 11:15. My son called me. He said, "Dad, I've been shot." I said, "Stop playing with me, man. You at school?" He said, "Dad, I've been shot at the school." So I said to him was, you can't be playing with me right now because I'm not joking with you. Are you been shot? He said, "Dad, I've been shot. There's a security guard standing here. He's not helping me, Dad. Come get me, Dad." He's crying, he's yelling. And then I'm getting emotional because I'm like, my son really been shot at a school? I said, "Where the ambulance at? What the police at?" He said, "Dad, they're not helping me, Dad. They're not helping me, Dad. They're not here, Dad. They're not doing anything for me, Dad." And I'm like, "Why they not helping you?" And I'm like, "No, no, Dad, help me, Dad, help me, Dad." And the worst thing was when the phone went off. As a father coming from James City County working, took him to school Monday morning at 7:37. It's the worst nightmare that any parent and anybody can actually go through. To understand that your son has been shot and he at school and they got security guards there. He's supposed to have an officer there, and he's telling me no one is helping him. So his mother was on Chicken Sea. She was at Chicken Sea on Jefferson Avenue, her and her sister. And they got there before the police got there, before the ambulance got there. And the ambulance in the police station is basically next door.
Yes, as
And
y'all, I'm sorry, yes. As y'all see when we did the interview, the fire department and the EMC, MES, emergency system is in the same parking lot as the school before.
so when he was telling me that the security guard wasn't helping him, I'm like, why he's not helping you before the phone hung up? So when the phone hung up, I didn't know what to do as a parent. I jumped in my truck. I got on I-64. I didn't try to hurt anybody, but I made sure I got to the school. When I got to the school, they say he was getting transferred to the hospital. More information was the police officer was on scene. Didn't even go and get the boy. Didn't try to find out where the shooter was at because the shooter got away from the campus. That's how the response team was. They wasn't there on time. They wasn't there to do anything that protect my son. And I just feel like everybody should know this because it's wrong for us as people to go through something like that. That could have been anybody's child, not just my child. My niece goes to school there. My cousin, son goes to school there. It could have been one of them. It could have been anybody's child to call you on the phone. My son called me on the phone and said, Dad, I've been shot. Not one time, but 3 times. And then tonight we just found out that he got shot in the head twice, not once. He got shot in the head twice. So we blessed to have my son still here. And for the chief of police to go on TV to say that he spoke to the family, that was a lie. For the principal not even called to say anything to us when it happened, that was a lie too. Like they trying to cover up their tracks instead of telling the people the truth. I just talked to the chief of police today. I have no bad words for him. I have no bad words for the principal. But what I feel like is this: your staff wasn't prepared for it. You should have metal detectors. My son was talking at the time. He said, Dad, when you dropped me off at school, they searched me. He said, how did this boy get a whole gun in the school? I'm like, I don't know, son. I said, I can't tell you that. I said, I need you to go to sleep, man. Get some rest, man. Just close your eyes, man. Don't worry about it. We here for you. And then on top of that, how is it anything like this should happen in any school? We know kids getting fights every day. We know we send our kids to school to be protected, to be safe, to be everything in need for them. We're not gonna take our son to school and say, hey man, he gonna get shot today. That was really messed up on Newport News Police Department, on the school system. You know, everybody go on TV to be, the words I'm gonna use is not gonna be good for you, but they go on TV to show off, to tell y'all lies. But I'm telling you the truth. Because it could have been your child. It could have been anything, you know. And another thing is this: why the police officer didn't go into school? That's not been talked about. Why he didn't go and see what the active shooter was at? How can a 15-year-old bring a gun to school and then still get away from the school system? And everybody know there's a long ways for where he live at. So therefore, he should have never got off school grounds with a gun in his hand. He should have never left school grounds. The response team wasn't on time. They did not do anything for my son. And we need to know who the security guard was standing over my son when he was bleeding from the head, his leg, and the blew half of his finger off. My son's finger is not going to be there no more. They're going to have to take that away from him. Just like what they did to us was wrong. And then they go on national TV and say, hey, yeah, we went and talked to the family. No, they just called us today. If I went and talked to somebody I shouldn't have talked to, that was going to not report the real story, I wouldn't have these problems. The real story is what he did was wrong. We understand that. But one thing is this: the response team for Newport News City Police Department didn't do their job. They went on national TV and told y'all that they spoke to us, which they did not speak to us that same night. No one told us anything. We found out the day from them. And like I said, I had nothing against none of them, but don't go on national TV and say something that you know is not true. Now, one more thing I want to share with y'all. The teacher grabbed my son. He said, Dad, me and him got in a fight. He reached for his book bag. And when he reached for his book bag, he was pulling out a gun. And it was tussling for the gun. He said, Dad, the teacher would have never grabbed me. And whoever that teacher is, which we don't know at this time, grabbed my son and pulled my son off of the fight. And he said, Dad, when he pulled me off the fight, that's when the boy started shooting at me. And I was running away and I got hit. He said the first bullet hit him in the leg. He didn't know he was shot in the head. And we just found out tonight he didn't get shot in the head once. He got shot in the head twice. And the doctors is telling me he's a very lucky man. Because 2 to 3 inches over, he wouldn't be here right now.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. And our prayers and our condolences are going out to you, your family, also your son. Majorly, we just praying for your son. I'm so saddened that something like this could ever happen right here in our own schools. I want to slow you down and take you back a little bit and ask you a couple questions. Were you ever able to find out why your son and a young man was in a fight at Heritage High School?
Well, I did not find it out at this time. Um, I know it's an ongoing investigation. What's going on? I just know him and the 15-year-old, they got into a fight. And like I said, my son said he was reaching for a gun in his book bag. Uh, we just trying to figure out how did a 15-year-old bring a gun to school. My son did not know him. And the news keep reporting that they knew each other. My son didn't know the victim that got shot, the other victim that got shot. He said, Dad, I didn't know him. He said
On the news, what I
he
heard,
just started fighting.
on the news that I heard, it was a female to male. So that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So was it two female? Was the male and the female, two males?
It was a male and it was a female and my son that got shot. Which the news reported that they know each other. My son said he don't know him. He never really seen him in school. He's a senior. He went to summer school to get 2 credits so he can go home early so he can graduate this year. So everything he was doing just on a positive note. Like we just had a baby shower for him and his girlfriend. Not Sunday, but on Saturday. So he was on a good path. My son is not a bad person.
How old is your son?
My son is 17.
Wow.
And he said, Dad, I don't know him. But what makes me upset, y'all keep saying my son knew this guy. They're not affiliated with each other. He don't know him from nobody. It's like opening up a bag of chips. You don't know what's going to be in the bag of chips. He don't know this person. So the news people, excuse me, I know you report news, but they need to tell the truth or what really happened. Like my son didn't know the guy. He just started fighting with my son. So what child you know is not going to try to help themselves? He said, Dad, he reached in the book bag and he said it was tussling. So they really didn't get in the fight. He said he never really had a chance to fight him. He said he seen him reaching in the book bag and he seen him when the gun came out, they was tussling then. But when the teacher grabbed my son and pulled him off him, that's when he started shooting. He said he told the teacher, told me that he got a gun. So that's why my son was running away from him and he started shooting. So y'all reporting that he got in the fight, they was tussling because the boy was pulling out the gun from the beginning to shoot him.
Wow. Wow. So the question is, why would a 15-year-old bring a gun inside a school system?
You know.
And where would a 15-year-old get a gun from to bring in the school system like that? And how did he get that gun into the building? If your child was checked that morning.
He was checked I dropped him off at 7:37. I said, wake up, man. You going to school? He said, oh, I'm sorry, Dave. My alarm didn't go off. I take him to school every morning because I got to be at work myself. So when I dropped him off, it was like 7:37. He said, Dad, he whispered this in my ear because he can't talk good because he got shot in the back of the head. So he told me, he said, Dad, they searched me. How did he get a gun in school? But when my son seen him reaching for the gun in the book bag, that's when my son started tussling with him. Y'all reporting that they got in the fight. My son actually seen him reaching in the book bag to shoot him.
Wow.
So what person wouldn't try to protect themselves at that point in time when you see somebody reaching in the book bag to grab a weapon? And the teacher, see, y'all don't even understand, the teacher grabbed my son and pulled him off to him. That's how my son got shot. He told me yesterday.
So your son was fighting for his life during the time when the teacher pulled him off?
When he pulled him off, and he told the teacher that he got a gun.
So he fighting for his life. He trying to wrestle with him to keep
him
from the young
from
man getting the gun out the bag.
exactly.
And he's trying to make sure he protect himself by holding him down and wrestling with him,
With,
but he can't get to the gun because he already
exactly.
seen the gun.
Yep.
And when the teacher came and pulled him, it releases the gun,
It releases the gun
and the young man pull the gun out and shoot your
and
son.
started shooting, and then I don't know how the young lady got shot. My condolences go out to her family. I hope she's well. I hope she's. I'm praying for her for a full recovery, and I just, we puzzled right now because the school system failed us.
Right.
They really did. They know what they did. The principal did not call us on the day that it happened. The chief of police did not come see us.
I spoke with a
So
lot of parents.
all of them is lies.
I spoke with a lot of parents on site, and a lot of parents did make me aware that no one got notification from the school system that allegedly did not get notification from the school system that there was a shooting on campus. A lot of them said they found out that there was a shooting on campus. If you go back to the video when I was on site doing the shooting, they found out because their child called them and said it's a shooting. It was no mass alert alerting the parents that it's a shooting on campus. Come to the school, help get your kids, anything like that. Let's take it back to when your son got shot and you got the initial phone call. Let's slow you down. Let's go back there.
That's the worst thing that a parent can get. I was sitting on a tractor, and he called me, said, "Dad, I've been shot." I thought that he was skipping school. He said, "Dad, I'm at school. The security guard is sitting right here. He's not helping me, Dad. He's not helping me, Dad. Come help me. Come help me, Dad. Come get me. I don't want to die."
So when your son say he's not helping me, what do you think he mean that the security officer? I have a picture that was sent into the newsroom where your son was on the ground and a man, I think it was in a black shirt, tan pants, and someone else was standing over him.
Yeah.
So what did they mean by he was not helping? And what, like,
Well,
because how did he make it all the way outside like that?
one thing I can say, when I got that phone call and he said that the security guard wasn't helping him, it broke my heart. I said to him, I said, the ambulance, the police is right there.
Right there on
They
campus.
there right there in the morning time. And they're at every other school. So you would think, well, like, how can an active shooter do what he did and get away with it and at least get off the campus with a pistol in his pocket?
Also,
It's I'm sorry to cut you off.
you
It just
fine?
it's a nightmare to know. It was like, it's like 9/11. If people would go back to 9/11, when people was on that plane and they made that one phone call to them, "I'm on the plane, it's been hijacked, I don't know what's gonna happen." When the phone went dead, that's how I felt. Because I didn't know my son was living. I didn't know what happened. So you imagine talking to him for 2 minutes, telling him that security guard is not helping him. And then the phone go dead. And then you don't hear nothing else.
Let me ask you this: your son was in class. Was he upstairs, downstairs? What floor was he on in the
Uh,
school?
but that's what the school system have not told us, where he was actually at and when it actually happened at. All I know is he's just called me and said, "Dad, I've been shot." If you
Did
would think your son been shot at school, you would think that he's
everybody
getting
be up there helping him?
everybody be it'd be the National Guard should have been there. Um, it's bad for a child to call you on the phone and say, "I've been shot," and he was shot in the head, not once but twice.
And the news is saying that he was shot once in the face or the head and in the leg. But yet, guys, we found out tonight, and it's breaking news out of Norfolk, Virginia, that the young man from Heritage High School was actually shot twice in his head, once in his leg,
Yes,
and also his finger. So he got shot in his hand because he lost his finger.
he's gonna lose his finger.
So do you know what digit he might lose?
Next to the pinky. I guess
The middle
we call
finger.
it no, it's not the middle finger. It's gonna be the ring finger.
The ring
Yeah,
finger.
this finger right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the left and right hand.
Gonna be his right hand.
Right hand. Wow.
So I just want every parent to know that whatever you heard on the news about the chief of police and about the security guard and about the police did not go in the building to look for a shooter. He did not go in the building. So that's what the public really need to know. I'm not gonna call him anything else, but he did not do his job.
Wow.
His job was to go find out what the shooter was.
Wow.
It should have been more than one teacher there helping my son when a child been shot in the head, not once but twice, in the leg and he missing half of his finger.
Wow.
And
That's
another
sad.
young lady been shot too.
Wow.
So
He ended up outside the school. So have anybody told you, or anybody from the school, a friend of his, did anybody tell you how your child ended up outside by a tree?
no, no one has told us anything, but they called me today and reaching out, which they should have did on Monday.
How did they misdiagnose your son at Riverview Hospital and say he was shot once in the head? Then when he get to Centura, they find out that he shot twice in the head. I'm really baffled and confused about that.
I, we just found this out, so I really don't know. I'm looking at these people out there for professional people, so I can't, I can't comment on that. I just found out tonight that he didn't have one bullet hole; he had two bullet holes.
So do you think they knew about it and didn't inform y'all, or you think Centura Hospital found out it was a second bullet? What you thinking?
I'm just thinking. I'm glad that Centuria did what they did to save my son's life, and I'm glad what's going on right now over here. I can't comment on it, but they say they found it, and
Can I ask you another question?
yes, ma'am.
What made the hospital transfer your son from Riverview in Newport News, Virginia, to the trauma center here in Centura in Norfolk, Virginia?
Well, for one, they said that they didn't have. Basically, it told us that they didn't have the capabilities. If I'm saying this the right way,
You are.
they didn't have the staff. They didn't have the doctors there to be able to take care of what he needed to be getting taken care of. So they said that they sent him here. He'll get the best care.
Yeah, Centura is one of the best trauma units here in the Hampton Roads. When we do have shootings across the 757, they normally fly them in on Nightingale or bring them on into Centura Trauma Unit, where they have the best doctors on staff and nurses here. Also, we want to know a couple of more questions. No information from the school at all. No one called you. How do you feel as a parent with the school not informing you yourself?
Man, I'm just I'm disgusted with the school system right now. I can't blame the chief of police for anything, but I just feel like the school system could have been more proactive. They could have been more understandable. Like, hey, your son been shot. He's been transferred to Riverside. Um, I feel like their response team, whatever happened with that security guard that was watching my son bleed, and could have we could have lost him. I just feel like the staff, everybody that says a security guard there, somebody need to be talked to. It should be something done about
Do you
the
think it's
security.
more training? More training needs to be done with these teachers and security officers,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
these type of incidents we so accustomed to being on national news
yeah,
and being states away from
yeah,
us, but now it's happening right here at our own front door.
yeah,
Do you think they need to educate these and train these officers more better,
yeah.
security officers and also teachers and staff?
I feel like they should. Now, this is my opinion.
Okay.
That you know what I'm gonna say is not gonna matter to anybody because y'all gonna do what you want to do.
Okay.
So my thing is this. Yes, I feel like every kid that come to school should have a see-through bag. If I work at Frank Purdue, if I work at the shipyard, and I'm going in there, if I got a book bag, they want me to see through my book bag. So if you got kids going to school out here, if I can't see what's in his book bag and I don't have a metal detector, then yeah, every kid in here is in danger. So therefore, you know, it should be better policy put in. The teachers should have a better understanding. Like this happened on this happened on us. It ain't happening on my watch. It happened on their watch. Like when you send your child to school and drop them off and you go to work, you don't want to get a phone call from your son that's in the hallway bleeding and he telling you, "Dad, I've been shot." He didn't say how many times he been shot, but he's telling me as a father he been shot. Where's the staff at? Where's the police at? Where's the ambulance at? Why are you on the phone talking to me? How is you on the phone having a conversation with me, telling me you been shot? In my mind, I'm thinking he playing with me. I'm saying, stop playing today. I've really been shot. Come get me.
So in your mind, you saying impossible. No way my son could be shot. I personally dropped you off to school. It was a normal day. We didn't speak about no altercation with no one. Um, you go to school, you at work, you get halfway in between your day. Around what time did this happen?
I want to say when he called me, It was after 11. So I don't know if it was 11:30, 11:15. I'll be honest with you. I didn't look at the time no more. The only thing I was thinking, I got to get to this school.
When you first see your son, initially first see your son, what type of condition was he in, or what were you able to see him on that day?
When I got to Riverside, it was a lot of commotion going on. A lot of family members was upset. So they finally let me in. He was covered in blood from head to toe. And that was the biggest, when you dropped your son off this morning, he was fine. But the biggest problem when I seen him in blood, and for him to call me and tell me that he's at school and been shot, that's the worst nightmare anybody can get. That's like I said, like 9/11, when people lost their lives, they was on a plane that got hijacked, and then the phone just go dead. And you like, how the phone just go dead? And you calling, you on the interstate, you speeding, you don't want to hurt nobody else, but you're trying to get to your child. That's the worst nightmare you can give anybody.
Wow.
So I would never leave that. That would always be with me to the day I leave this earth.
I'm not trying to pick with nobody, but I want to make sure we be very expressive about how we feel about our local news. When the local news station came out and did your story, I heard allegedly the story was not presented on the news the way it was recorded.
It was.
Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I spoke to someone. I'm not gonna say his name. I talked to him and I told him that everything that I just said and told you. But the only thing he reported was they didn't call us. He didn't report the fact that my son was bleeding from his head, bleeding from his leg, having his finger gone, and he's on the phone with me at the school.
Have anyone set up a GoFundMe for your son that you know about? Have you seen Wavy News 10? Like when most people get shot, Wavy News 10, something major like this.
No,
at
nobody.
the school, nobody set up a GoFundMe for your son.
Nobody.
So you need to make
Not
sure.
that I know of, but I know that no one had reached out and said anything that makes sense to me. The chief of police called me and gave me his condolence, and I
You
guess
said that was this afternoon.
that was this afternoon. Like, come on, the day is Wednesday. This happened on Monday. I'm lost of days anyway, so I haven't really been asleep.
If I can give you a couple of suggestions, if y'all can go ahead, maybe you or the mother can set up a GoFundMe account so that we as the public can sow into your son's life, because it's going to be a long road for his recovery.
It's going to be a long
you
road.
Want to do it before someone else try to make a fake account.
Yeah.
And once y'all do have it set up, we can attach it to this news broadcast right here.
Okay.
With the school not informing you, with the school, nobody from the school came and visited your son up to this day at the hospital yet.
No one from the school had been here. I went home and changed clothes, and I've been back right here in the parking lot. It hurts so bad to go up there and see your son in that type of condition, in that type of way. So I just been sitting in the parking lot in my truck.
Have he been able to speak to you since the last time he spoke, whisper in your ear?
Well, the last time he whispered in my ear is what he told me what happened with the teacher. The situation, excuse me.
You fine.
And he was letting me know that he seen the boy with the gun. See, with the news reporting that they knew each other and they was fighting. See, that never happened. He said, Dad, when I seen him, he walked up on me. He was like, what's up? And my son said, what's up to him? He said he reached in the book bag. And he said when he was reaching in the book bag, he was looking. And when he pulled the gun out, they was tussling for the gun. See, the news keep reporting that they got in a fight, which I really don't know because...
It don't even matter. Because who bring up a gun to a fist fight?
Well, not at school.
Right.
I've been in school a long time, so I never seen nobody pull a gun out.
Right.
So he said, Dad, I was tussling him with the gun, trying to take it from him. And he said the teacher grabbed him. And he said when the teacher grabbed him, he hit the floor. He said he got a gun. I don't know if the teacher got out of the way. I'm quite sure he probably did. But for the young man to shoot more than once, how did he get off school campus?
Yes, he was found off campus, and the gun was found in a nearby trash can receptacle. Do you feel as though the school system not just felt you, but felt your child and many more kids that went to Heritage High School?
Many more kids. The school system failed them because, for one, we do have a lot of things that goes on in Newport News, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Virginia, and school systems should have policies in place that say, hey man, if you come to school, we're gonna search you. It don't matter how long it take. If you got 1,200 kids going to school here, that means you got 1,200 lives that you got to look out for. Not one life, but 1,200 of them. And when kids, if that kid brought a gun to school, let's do 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 kids go to school. How many other kids had a gun there that they themselves?
Right, right.
So if he had a gun, how
And
many other
guys,
kids had a
also
gun?
you need to be guys informed that Heritage High School is something different that we heard of. It's combined with a middle school, so you didn't just have high school students scrambling in that school on that afternoon. You also, or that morning, you had middle school students. Now check it how important it is that they changed their policy at Heritage High School because they should not have high school and middle school students together. So here we go. I can break it down for you. Your child just came out of elementary school. Now your child is going to school with high school students if they're going to Heritage Middle School because of the fact that Heritages have high school and middle school students together. So they just came from being babyfied to throwing into the lion's den. So you got many kids at Heritage High School. I think it's Huntington Middle School in the same building when these gunshots went off. And they have been traumatized. We need to hear about more of counseling going on, like we heard like the Caliban high school shooting. I'm not hearing enough about that. I'm not hearing about we got people outside on staff like they did with the Caliban high school shooting. All I'm hearing on the news is they gonna come get their book bags and they stay. Why is there a difference when it comes to a black child being shot or shot in school than when it comes to a white school? When it's a white school, as soon and immediately as the shooting happened, you'll see that they said we got counselors on site, we got counselors here. But I seen private counseling company coming out and offering their help. Where is the counseling system actually for the kids? And who cares about what they left in the school? Um, what happened to the alerting the parents that there was a mass shooting? How did y'all feel that system? And how could the well, I do know why the fire department did not respond, even though they was in the same parking lot. And I hate to say this, but anytime there's an active shooting, the fire department is not gonna come in until the police has cleared the scene for the fire department's safety. So first the police go in, clear the scene, then the
He didn't go in.
yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah, he didn't go
He
in.
didn't go in.
Right, right, but he didn't go in.
What's
But
his name?
right, right. Is there anything else you would like for them to know while we're here, while we're praying for your son, while he's going through his surgery?
That's just basically what happened. The world need to know the truth and not get what Wavy TB10 telling you and 13 and China 3. My son did not know the guy. He never seen the guy. They got into a little altercation. The guy was trying to pull out a gun. My son was trying to defend himself and keeping the gun from him. A teacher grabbed my son. That teacher need to come forward and tell his story of what happened because he seen my son get shot. The officer did not go in the building. He need to come forward and say why he didn't go in the building. Wow. Why he didn't go in there and make sure he saved the other lives that was going on. And have an active shooter shoot my son not once, but 4 times. Twice in the head, once in the leg, and he gonna lose a finger. And on top of that, he gets away off school campus. Wow. So
he's traumatized for life. He's blessed to be here, but he's now traumatized for life. When your son's mother came on the scene, what did she say she first saw and recognized?
Well, when she talked to me and I talked to her at the hospital, she came from Chicken C off of Jefferson Avenue. Now, everyone from Newport News know what Chicken C at on Jefferson Avenue. Everybody know where Heritage High School at in Newport News. How did she come from Chicken C and get to Heritage High School before any law enforcement got there? Wow. So think about it when you send your kids to school to that school. I'm not saying that's a bad school, but they need to put different things in place. And that's all I have to say. Because
ending this video right here, you did a great job. Thank you for taking time out and sharing with us.
I appreciate that.
Because sharing is caring.
Yeah.
I, Rhoda Young Live, want to make sure that I give you a fair chance to share your story.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Do you feel like you got everything off your chest that you need?
I feel like the public need to know. I feel like everything that I know at this point in time, what I experienced, the worst thing you can experience when you got a child that call you from that school and tell you he been shot. Wow. They have been shot, and the security guard ain't helping him.
Wow.
So that's the worst thing that a parent should not go through.
Wow.
I went through it.
Wow.
And I live with that. I'm gonna live with that for the rest of my life.
Can I give you a little bit of comfort?
Yes, you can.
I don't think anything can comfort you right now.
Yeah.
When your son was in need, he called his father.
He called me.
I want you to hold on to that.
I will.
I want you to I want you to hold on to that.
I will.
When your son was in need,
Yeah.
he called his father.
He called me. He didn't just call me. He called his sister.
Yeah.
He called his brother.
Wow.
I mean, how can a child
He
call?
made all those phone
He
calls.
made all these phone calls.
Why he was on the ground?
Why he was shot. I don't know where he was at in the school. They never told us where he exactly was at. But
So
he was shot and called his sister, called me, called numerous people. Come help me.
So basically, he felt like he needed help because he was
He
not
called,
getting no help.
that's how his mother got there, because he called his oldest brother, and his oldest brother called his mother, and luckily she was at Chicken Sea on Jefferson Avenue.
So
She got there on the scene, said it was, if you see the pictures that they posted of my son, she said it was trying to walk him out when he been shot in the head, not once but twice, and in the leg, and his finger, and the police officer and the other guy walking him out. She said when we got there and started running towards him, that's when they picked him up.
Wow, so they never told him anything. They had him walking while he was shot in his head.
They had him walking. The ambulance didn't get him in the building. They got him outside the building.
Wow.
And the police officer, instead of him going to look for an active shooter, he didn't do anything. So how my son's mother come from Chicken Sea to the school before any police got there?
And they actually let him talk on the phone, shot in his head, instead of somebody calling his parents for him.
I'm guessing when he was talking to me, they didn't let him talk anymore. It was like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minute talk, and the phone went dead. And I'm like,
that'd be the worst.
That's the worst. I didn't know nothing until I got to Riverside. Wow. When I went to the school, it was so much commotion going on at the school. They was like, they took him to Riverside. So I jumped back in my truck and I went to Riverside. Wow. And when I got there, they wouldn't let nobody in the building because they said they locked down Riverside. But when they found out who he was of my son being the victim, then they let us in and we had a chance to go back there and talk to him. It was the worst nightmare that
we're going to end it like this.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to say to parents that know their child have a gun in their home and allow their child to be a pistol-toting thug in these communities? What would you like to say?
Well, I would like to say we got to pay more attention to our kids. We got to look in their book bags. We got to search their rooms. We got to make sure that they're not walking around with any type of weapon, even a knife. We got to pay more attention to our kids. Even though they 17, sometimes we not paying no mind. Like, I look at my son sometimes and I say, hey, he's 17 years old. He know right from wrong. No, I'm wrong about thinking that. We need to pay more attention to our kids. And to the mothers and fathers and students, kids that go to school there, I'm not saying that's a bad school, but I feel like every parent should be able to go say something to the principal. Say something about what happened. Like, why the security guard wasn't helping this young man. You know, and that's what we need to know. We need to know why they wasn't helping him.
And why the
police didn't go in the building.
Get into the school.
Yeah, exactly.
And how did the gun get into the school?
I do, because all book bags, if I can work at Frank Purdue or any company, and they telling me if I want to bring any type of bag in here, it got to be a see-through bag. Why are students that go to school, they can't buy see-through bags? Wow. If you don't have metal detectors, put some in place. If I got a black book bag, you don't know what's in there. Guys, if I got a blue book bag.
Guys, he's on a long road of recovery, but we thank God that he is on a long road to recovery. We thank God for sparing his life. Our prayers and our condolences going out to the family, his mother, sisters, brothers, cousins, all. Guys, speak to your kids about the importance of putting the guns down. Check your kid's bedroom. This child that had the gun was only 15 years old. So don't think my child won't do it, because it could be your child or it could be your child next. Make sure you tell your kids that you love them on a daily basis. Hug and kiss them, guys. And just check your kids' bedroom on Rhoda Young Live. The school system need to do a better job with coming out here, finding out what happened to this young man child during their watch. He left his child in the custody of Newport News school system, and the family feel as though y'all failed this child by allowing his child to be shot twice in the head, once in the leg, and one of his fingers shot off in Newport News, Virginia. I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Young Life, but it saddened me to share this story. But it's a story that must be heard here out of Norfolk, Virginia, reporting live. Anything else? God bless each and every last one of you guys. May He continue to be a hedge around my family and also yours. Until we meet again, I'm Rhoda Young Live.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate this.